Hello everybody, welcome back to NCAA 2004, and we are at the end of our season, but not the complete end of our season, because we have some more games to play, and specifically against the Tennessee Volunteers, who managed to win the Eastern Division in the SEC. They managed to overcome South Carolina, who I think just by virtue of just not losing, I think South Carolina needed Tennessee to lose another game in order to win the East, and Tennessee didn't. I think our game was the last game that Tennessee lost, because they did climb in the rankings. But speaking of rankings, looking at the bowl rankings, we currently sit number 1, and Nebraska remains the only other undefeated team in all of college football. So if one of us were to lose either the Big 12 or SEC championship, Virginia Tech or Maryland would then step in, probably Virginia Tech more specifically. But it's all going to come down, basically, the national championship game is going to come down to the SEC championship and the Big 12 championship. And Nebraska does their job just barely holding off the Oklahoma Sooners and winning 17-14. That was the game of the week here. That was the big game. And the SEC game, I guess, is just secondary billing, even though our game has just as much stakes, if not more, since we're the number 1 team in the country. So we pass very efficiently. Nebraska does not. But we will talk more about the matchup probably if we get there to even play Nebraska. We have to get through Tennessee again for in our 7th matchup against the Volunteers. This is going to be our 7th game against Tennessee. So by this point, we are very, very much familiar with Tennessee. If you remember just a couple of videos ago, because it wasn't that long ago, our game against Tennessee started off very, very differently than how it ended up. So we struggled a lot through about 80% of the game, and then the fourth quarter happened, and things just completely turned around for the Crimson Tide. We just exploded into some points here and ended up winning by a pretty substantial margin over Tennessee. So in a game that looked like we were pretty much down and out, down by multiple scores, we ended up winning by multiple scores. So Tennessee, maybe they figured things out, maybe they've ironed things out. They've clearly gotten better. They're 13th now. They were 22nd when we played them, and so this is our 2nd straight meeting against Tennessee in the SEC Championship. So this is a rematch of last year's game. I think it's technically the 2007 game, I think maybe. It should be the 2008 season. I'm not entirely sure. I think the trophy says 2007, whoever's going to get it. But I believe this is the 2008 season. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look where it says it, because it's confusing with the years. I get it lost. It doesn't put it promptly. But we're going to get into this game here because we have a national title to get to. We have to get back to the game, man. We need another shot at it. So first play of the game here for the Crimson Tide offense. And Tim Lewis is going to keep it himself. Stumbles off of a block, but still finds his footing and is able to get close to the sticks, but still brought down well short. So a nice little pickup for Tim Lewis. We don't see a lot of just straight-up quarterback runs from him, but we do know that he can run the football. So I see some athleticism early. On 2nd and 4, Tim Lewis steps up and fires one, and that ball's tipped to Scott Mitchell, and he's just off to the races. There's no one back there. He got behind the DBs, found the hole in the zone, I guess so. Maybe Tennessee was just playing a little bit closer. Maybe they were expecting a short run or something close to the line of scrimmage, but instead, that ball passes through the hands of a Tennessee defender. A dangerous pass by Tim Lewis. I mean, that one could have been easily picked off, so we really get lucky here early in this ball game as Scotty Mitchell, with the concentration, able to catch that one through the deflection and gets into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game, and it's a huge one. So Tennessee's first chance with the ball now. So Carr, under some pressure here, as the pocket collapses almost immediately, running from his own guys, and George Leon gets all the way home to Carr to get the first sack of the game. So on 2nd and 16 now, Alton Carr stands back and he unloads downfield, and that one is caught by Hilliard, and he shakes off Cecil Randolph, and he's off to the races, and no one is going to catch him. He's going to dive for the end zone, and it's going to say that Carr, I guess, broke the record here, Carlos Cobb's previous record for passing touchdown. I guess so. I didn't think Carlos Cobb held the record for it, but I guess he does. So Carr now holds that record. So unfortunate for us, I guess, our record broken here in the SEC title game. How unfortunate, right? How very unfortunate. But either way, so Tennessee's going to even us up now after that negative play. They get back into it. So on a 2nd and 9 here, Tim Lewis fires another shot to the right side of the field, and Scotty Mitchell keeping the feet in bounds, toe tapping along the sideline to keep that ball in bounds as a beautiful reception for the young receiver. He's going to be something special. So on 2nd and 8 here, we're going to pitch it off to Lamont Farrell, who's going to throw it back to Tim Lewis, and Tim Lewis cuts up field here. He had two blockers who didn't want to run with him, I guess. Could have maybe been a touchdown if the AI was a little bit smarter, but we know they're not. Either way, it's going to be a first down as Tim Lewis getting the legs involved early in this game here. He's moving a lot. So cut to a 3rd and 4 here, and we give it to Lamont Farrell, and the pressure gets inside, and Lamont Farrell's got no room to operate. So the run game isn't exactly set up firmly here. We can only really do the trick plays, I guess, if we want to run the football. So Tennessee's defense comes up strong here on 4th and 4. We're going to bring up Marion Ferguson to do his job. And he does just that. The senior nails this field goal, further capping off a very impressive season that he's had. At least to us, from what we've watched, it's been impressive. I like what I've seen. So on 1st and 10 here, Carr once again under some pressure on the run, throws it on the run, unloads it downfield, and it's Hilliard again in triple coverage. He comes down with it. We get 3 Crimson Tide defenders in the vicinity, and somehow a Tennessee receiver is the one who comes down with it. I don't understand that, but either way, that is what happens. See, look at this, dude. Look at that. Oh, you got 3 guys over there, and just no one. No one can make an accurate play on the ball. So 1st and 10 now in Crimson Tide territory. Carr here with a clean pocket. Unloads again to the sideline, and that one is dropped off to Smith, Arnold Smith, Tennessee's other receiver, the sophomore, and he gets that one a first down here. So we're going to cut to a 2nd and 7. It's going to be a pitch play. It cuts upfield here after a beautiful spin move. Tennessee's running back, who I have his name down here. It is written down somewhere. I have to flip through my pages, flip through my literature I have here. And it's Brett Anderson, the junior, who is able to get a nice first down for Tennessee here. So Carr drops back again, takes a shot towards the end zone and into double coverage. I have no idea how he caught that. How on earth did he catch that football, man? He had Cecil Randolph, and I think David Ford just completely sandwiching Hilliard. And somehow Hilliard just concentration, able to get it, I guess. I don't know. But Tennessee is going to take now a 4-point lead over us as the end of the first quarter comes. So all this time, man, that was just the first quarter. So on a 3rd and 9, Tim Lewis here has to get the Crimson Tide offense moving, and he finds Scotty Mitchell downfield for another huge reception. And so far, it's been all Scotty Mitchell right now on the Crimson Tide offense. He's been the consistent thing that's been working. So on 3rd and 14, after some negative plays, Tim Lewis trying to keep the drive alive again, takes a shot to the end zone, and Chad Whitaker gets a hand on the football, but he cannot caress it and bring it in. So, or can't corral it in, is what I was trying to say. He can't corral the football in, so that's going to be 4th down. So we're going to bring out Marion Ferguson once again. Had some blockers in there, but doesn't matter. Concentration's there, but ice in his veins. So another short drive for the Crimson Tide ends in just 3 points. So we are now down by 1 point. Maybe could have argued Sicknaven to go for it, but we get some points. Some much needed points. So Tennessee now with some negative plays trying to flip the field here, and they do just that. Is a huge completion from Carr to another Tennessee receiver, one I don't have written down. He manages to catch this one, and now Tennessee working here at the 35-yard line. They're going to hand it off to their fullback, and he's going to take some guys with him and get close to the sticks. I think he's actually going to get the first down. So Tennessee's drive will continue to move as the big chunk plays just continue to happen in this game back and forth. But some negative plays now force Tennessee in a 3rd and 15 situation. Carr got to get the ball moving here if at all possible. He fires this one, and he finds Rick Sloan, the safety, who's going to catch this one, and it is going to be intercepted. A humongous stop for the Crimson Tide defense that was really struggling to put a lid on Tennessee's big plays here, but Rick Sloan, the sophomore, manages to cut that play off. He saw that one from a mile away, just snagged it, yoinked it out of the air. Beautiful play by Rick Sloan. We got some good DBs back there, man. Some good DBs. We need to see him start playing a little bit better. So on 2nd and 10 here, Lewis tries to evade some pressure here, and he fires it to Chad Whitaker, who escapes his one defender here and is able to cut upfield for about another 5 yards or so. But finally, we get Chad Whitaker involved into the offense. The huge sophomore who's been doing so much for us this year, that he's been contained so far in this game. So on a 3rd and 7, Tennessee's defense really showing some resilience, and Tim Lewis fires this one to the corner of the end zone to Scotty Mitchell again, but it is just nothing but double coverage. And Pittman, who I believe has picked off Tim Lewis already in this season, I believe in the first meeting with Tennessee, Pittman picked off Tim Lewis. So yeah, the first half is going to come to a close as Tennessee would just run the clock out here. So that 1 point lead for Tennessee is holding, but now we're going to cut to our first drive in the second half. Tennessee did start with it, but they couldn't do anything with it. And so we're now moving on offense. And that's Jody Quinn, the freshman, who is able to catch that one and get out of bounds. And so on 2nd and 2 here, it's another trick play here. And it's going to be Jody Quinn throwing the football. And he finds Tim Lewis. And Tim Lewis is inside the 10. He catches it, tries to spin away, but no one's going to get fooled by a quarterback spin move. I believe that was Jody Quinn who threw it. We will see it in the little stat thing. It might have been Chad Whitaker, I'm not sure. But either way, on first and goal here, Tim Lewis, plenty of time in the backfield, and this pass is incomplete as that one sails to the turf. But there is a flag on the field, so hold on while we assess the flag. And it's going to be a holding call on one of our big, very reliable linemen here, and that hold was on Lynch, the sophomore center. So that's going to back us up a good bit of yardage here. So on first and goal, we're going to hand it off to Lamont Farrell, try to get some of that back, and he's going to get most of it back. He's just inside the 5 and brought down at the 2-yard line, and that is why we love Lamont Farrell. Hasn't been doing a whole lot for us here in this game so far, but big plays like that are really why you need a guy like Lamont Farrell in the backfield. We love him so much, and he's still here for a while unless he decides to leave after this season, because he's a junior and he can decide to do that. And if we win the national title somehow, he might just decide to do that. Who knows? But either way, he's here right now. So on second and goal here, Tim Lewis backing away from some pressure here and fires it across the middle and finds an open man, wide open man really, just standing right in the checkerboarded end zone. And I'm not sure who it was. It's an 85. I think it's our backup tight end who I do not have written down. We haven't seen much of him all year. I mean, we'll probably see him moving forward, depending on what happens with Sean Watts, but he's also a sophomore. So we're going to go for 2 points here, and Nick Allen is running into Tim Lewis. I mean, it just completely contested there. I don't know what, there was no pocket to speak of, but Tim Lewis still able to find Lamont Farrell in the end zone to complete the 2-point conversion. So now we extend back to a 7-point lead over Tennessee. So on 3rd and 7, Tennessee desperately trying to get the ball moving, and they fumble it instead, and it's going to be scooped up, and this one is heading the other way. I get to see who. It's Jeremy Walls, the defensive end. Our senior defensive end, mind you, making a huge play here in the SC Championship as he's able to scoop up this fumble here and get into the end zone, breaking some tackles as well. So 28-14, now your score. But Lamont Farrell's going to give a fumble back himself to the Tennessee defense, and Tim Lewis is able to corral the defender to bring him down to prevent a scoop and score, but it is still a turnover for the Crimson Tide offense. So that's how the third quarter is going to end. So we quickly jump to a 14-point lead over Tennessee, but turnovers now maybe start becoming a factor here in this game. So on a 3rd and 2, Tennessee trying to get some points off of that fumble. They're going to hand it off to the running back Anderson. He's going to pick up the first down, and so that drive will continue here. Neither running back really all that productive so far in this game, and now both with a fumble. So on 3rd and 8 here, our defense really making Tennessee work for it, but on 3rd and 8, he's going to fire this one to Hilliard, and once again, dude, there's 4 red jerseys over there, 4 crimson jerseys over there, and somehow no one can just make a play on the football and knock that down. I have no idea how that happens, but Tennessee does answer back here. So we're back to just a one-possession game, but when we do things like that, that's going to help our case here, as Tim Lewis is able to find Chad Whitaker across the middle of the field, and now we are cooking here inside the red zone. Just need to punch it in, man. Even 3 points would really help us out late in this ball game. So Tim Lewis fires one to Scotty Mitchell again, and he finds 2 Tennessee defenders again. Just throwing super contested, terrible balls here, and it's Pittman again, man, with his 2nd pick of Tim Lewis in this game here, and I think maybe the 3rd or 4th of his career, dude. Their strong safety, Tennessee strong safety Pittman, just has such a read of Tim Lewis. He's just not fooled at all, and Tim Lewis cannot seem to get around it. So, but Tennessee did come out of the end zone with it, so they're trying to go the whole length of the field here. And on 3rd and 5, pressure is in the backfield. I think Walls is in the backfield. But Carr picks up a block and is able to get rid of it just in time, and he shoots this one downfield, and it's going to flip the field. So Tennessee gets about half of the entire length of the field that they need. Carr going to back out of an option play. He's going to dot this one down the sideline here to Hilliard again, and Hilliard's just been absolutely feasting on the Crimson Tide defense. We just cannot do anything against him. I have no idea how he's this productive, but he is. So on 1st and goal, they're going to hand off to their fullback, and he's going to march into the end zone for a touchdown. And ladies and germs, just like that, this game is tied. The Tennessee Volunteers will not go away. No matter how hard we play, no matter what we do, Tennessee just seems to have an answer for it. Can they finally overcome the hump and turn those answers into a victory? We will see. So with 33 seconds left to play in the game, Tennessee in prime position here to maybe kick a go-ahead field goal if they can extend this drive. So on 3rd and 9, Carr's going to throw a pick to David Ford. He throws an interception on 3rd and 9. Out of desperation here, Tennessee trying to move the ball. They really didn't need to do that. They could have just played for overtime, but they were trying to go for the win. So now with 29 seconds, we have the opportunity to do the exact same thing. Tim Lewis already has 2 picks in this game. Wants a home run shot, and he finds an open man. I believe it was Chad Whitaker down the sidelines. I'm not sure. We might have to get a closer look here. I believe it was Chad Whitaker. Or no, I think it's actually Lamont Farrell. Was that Lamont Farrell? We will see here in the replay. But Lewis, really not sure where to go with the football. And why not hit the running back down the sideline here? Just drops that one in a bucket to Lamont Farrell. And it's a huge pickup at the 20 now. So we hand it off to Lamont Farrell just to now set up a kick here for Marion Ferguson. Doesn't really center it, but now with 15 seconds left, Marion Ferguson, the game rests on his leg. Can he nail this chip shot home? And he does. We're going to take a 3-point lead over Tennessee with just 12 seconds left in the game. Tennessee, that's still enough time to maybe take a shot at it. Who knows? But they're going to have to go a pretty large distance here. So on 1st and 10, Carr running pump fakes, finds an open man. He's going to cut up field for a first down, and that's going to stop the clock to reset the chains. But Tennessee's going to take a timeout anyway. So 5 seconds left now. They're down to the last opportunity, and Carr's going to get sacked. So there is still time on the clock. So they're going to call timeout with 1 second. So now 2nd and 18. The game resting on this one play. If they can take a shot and get into the end zone, Carr drops back here. Plenty of protection up front. Fires it downfield. And he finds an open receiver surrounded by Crimson Tide defenders once again, but he's going to get brought down immediately. No chance for yards after the catch here. And he's going to get brought down well short of the end zone. And there's going to be no time for Tennessee to reset up for a potential game-tying field goal. And this game is going to end off of that huge play. So regardless of the outcome of the game here, our defense still able to limit Tennessee's ability to create big plays. But we do manage to come out on top. So there we are. We are the 2007 SEC champions. I believe it might actually be 2008. I don't know. No, it might be 2007. I don't know. But either way, we win it. So back-to-back SEC champions now for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and we're heading back to the BCS title game for the 2nd straight year, playing another team out of the Big 12. This time not Texas, but we're going to be playing Nebraska. So let's look at the breakdown of this game here. Tennessee outplayed us in a couple different areas. We did outrun them only slightly here, but those numbers are probably hampered by the sack numbers, and we got to Carr quite a bit in this game, and we had a lot of pressure. Remember, that was a huge issue when we played Tennessee. We couldn't contain their defensive line, and now they had the same issue in this game. Neither team really effective on 3rd down, which really kind of influenced things, and of course the turnover battle was the exact same for both teams. So either team could probably negate a turnover, and the outcome probably changes pretty drastically, but that is how things shake up here in this game. And it was Chad Whitaker who threw that pass to Tim Lewis, so nice little trickery there. We've seen those a couple times. Tim Lewis with the 2 picks. Very confusing stat line from him because he threw for over 300 yards, well over 300 yards here. The completion percentage is pretty bad, and the 2 picks are bad, but 339 yards and 2 touchdowns, you will happily take that. So Tim Lewis even getting some work on the ground here, really getting the all-purpose yards included here. Scotty Mitchell was the class of the receiving corps in this game, man. He was the only receiver that we had that was really working that effectively. Chad Whitaker not even all that important in this game here outside of throwing that pass. But Rick Sloan gets himself a pick here. David Ford gets a pick. Both of our safeties essentially get interceptions here. George Leon was also incredibly effective here. And Marion Ferguson, I mean, this game is won off Marion Ferguson's leg. I mean, seriously, it is. I don't know if any other player had a more direct impact to how we won today's game other than Marion Ferguson doing his job. So we win another SEC title, put it in the trophy case, man. Back-to-back champs. And here, I told you guys in the LSU video, their running back was a finalist, and he ends up winning the Heisman. So he's unnamed, so you guys probably know who that is in real life. I don't know who that is. I'm an idiot, but you guys probably know who that is in real life. But either way, he does win the Heisman in his last season in college. So, but we're moving on, man. We're getting an invite to the Sugar Bowl. Last year it was in... where was it last year? Was it the Fiesta Bowl? I think it was the Fiesta Bowl. But this year, it is going to be in the Sugar Bowl. We are playing for the BCS national title against the Nebraska Cornhuskers, the winners of the Big 12. So, hope to see you guys there when we get our second shot at Natty Glory. Hopefully, we'll be more successful this time around.